Are you someone that will maybe go into another country for half a year or 1 year, longer or shorter? Are you maybe a student preparing for an exchange semester, or are you just a tourist going somewhere for 1 month, or maybe you're just someone going abroad for work? So in my case, I was an exchange student going for 1 year to Japan. And my exchange semester is already over soon, but there are 3 things I think that are most important and that you need to watch out for when you go into another country. And 2 things are maybe kind of obvious, but one thing is something that I didn't hear that often in those discussions, and I think that is something that you should watch out for. So grab some popcorn, cold drink, sit down, and let me explain you how you should prepare for going abroad. The first tip I would give to everyone, and that is a bit based on my character, but I think that is something that everyone can get a benefit from, is have a plan why you're going abroad. And with plan of everyone seems different, but just take my case. I went to Japan for 1 year, and I know many people that went to Japan for 1 year and just thought, I want to go to Japan. And I mean, in the first case that you're interested in some country is okay, but I think you need to know why you're there. And in my case it was, I'm in Japan because I wanted to A, learn the language, and B, write my bachelor thesis. And I know that those 2 things are the most important things I need to do. And why is it important to even have a plan? So in my opinion, a plan gives you structure. A plan is not just some construct that keeps you from being free, but is also something that gives you a direction. So for example, when I'm at university and I had some university regulations to tell me take that much courses, do this much credit points, and then you earn this certificate. And in my case, I was just like, my plan is not about getting this certificate. My plan is about learning Japanese and writing my bachelor thesis. So what I did is take Japanese courses in the first half year of my exchange semester because I wanted to learn Japanese for the JLPT test. And in the other case, write my bachelor thesis. So I took some time to research, and because my bachelor thesis was dependent on companies inside Japan, I needed to be in Japan. So by having a plan, you know what you're doing, and also you know what you shouldn't do. Because I could have wasted my time with many courses at the university that don't even benefit from me. And I think if you have a goal in life and you want to achieve that goal, you need to sort your activities by, is it something that I need? And is it something that keeps me away from that goal? And you could argue and say, okay, but I don't know, I just want to go to Japan and just want to relax and have my own life and so on. And I think, yeah, maybe this can be an option too. But what I saw with many study colleagues is that many people that went to Japan without a real reason what they concretely want to do here. I mean, that plan could also be, I want to travel every prefectures in Japan. Or that plan could also be, I don't know, I want to talk to a different person in Japan every day. It doesn't matter. But another thing is, when you're in another country, not if it's just Japan, but every country in the world, you will face some challenges. And you will face some language challenges, which I will talk about later too. You will face challenges about how things work. And in my case, it's kind of frustrating in the beginning because you don't even know the most basic things. From sorting your trash the right way to how do you ride the bus, or how do you even charge your Suica card here in Japan, in this case, a card where you can like transfer to trains and everything. In Germany, for example, you buy tickets. So you don't even know those simple things. So having a plan will give you like the energy and the strength to endure situations that will maybe hard for you. Because if you get into stressful situations, if you have, like me, have to do many phone calls in Japanese, even though your Japanese is still not perfect, you will come to a point, and I think everyone comes to this point, what am I doing here? And because you had the plan in the beginning, you can tell yourself at that moment, I'm here because of this. And this will give you some energy to, let's say, bear the suffering. Like some big words, but I hope you know what I mean. So have a plan, get a plan, know what you're doing with your life. That's what I would do. The second thing is, and I already explained it before in the part with language difficulties, you should learn the language. So if you're there as a tourist, or if you're there to work, or if you're there for working travel, or even if you're there for as an exchange student, trust me, learn the language. There are many countries that you can, how to say, like get around with English. But the thing is, you miss many things by not learning the language. Because I myself am studying Japanese, so when I went to Japan, I kind of knew Japanese pretty well. And I have many friends that I talked with, so I kind of could communicate. And even if I don't understand, I at least knew how to question and ask what I want to hear or what I don't understand. And mostly, if people told it to me 2 or 3 times, then I understood it. And in this case, there are like many things. From if you have some questions and you want to ask someone, for example, in Japan, most people will just speak Japanese. They cannot answer your questions in English. And yes, you can take a translator also, but I think that should be your plan B. And also, for example, when making friends, you cannot talk to everyone in the country, or when you're traveling somewhere, when you want to get a SIM card, when you want to ask about your gas bill, or even when you just want to ask your apartment company about the trash sorting system or anything. You can do it in another language sometimes, but it will not always be the case. So learn the language, at least to some part, that you can have some daily conversations. So I also have some courses about JLPT and 5 basics, grammar basics. You can just start there if you want. If you have a plan to go to Japan, just take those courses, they're free. Leave a like if you want. So yeah. And the second thing why you should learn a language of the country is because you will feel distanced from the country. So I had 2 experiences in my life. I went to Korea for 3 weeks and I went to Japan for 1 year. And in the case of Korea, I didn't know one word Korean. I could read the language, like the Hangul, but I didn't know what words meant. And that is the thing, like, I'm a person that can sit 3 weeks alone in their room and not be bothered at all. But there are daily things you always need to do. You need to go to the supermarket to buy things. Maybe sometimes you want to go to the restaurant and order something. And in this case, if you don't know the language, you will not even be able to do basic daily activities. And in my case in Korea, this made me feel really distanced. Like I'm not a part of my environment, I'm just one person. And everything around me is like a different world. And in my case, it made me kind of stressed. So by being in Japan, I kind of learned how important it is to really speak a language. Of course, I know not everyone has the opportunity to learn a language, because I myself as a Japanese student know how hard it is to learn a language and to really speak a language. Even after you learn it, you still need to be able to speak it. But trust me, just some basic things will also have a big impact on your learning journey. Now we come to my third tip, and that is something that I don't hear that often, because people will say, learn a language, or I don't know, prepare these documents, or go to these places, or whatever. But I think one main point that is not talked that much about, and even from my higher semester people, I didn't hear this advice at all. And for me it is, find a place to release energy. So, for example, everyone has this kind of system in their life, I think. You have some things that take energy, and you have some things that give energy. And in my case, for example, if I need to clean my room, for example, or if I need to study for Japanese. Those things are things that can be, how to say, rewarding to me, and I can be happy at the time, but it drains my energy. Or for example, because I'm kind of an introverted person, when I go to social gatherings, like if I'm there the whole day and need to interact with many people and watch their emotions and what I should say and so on, then this really exhausts me. And when you come to a new country, like I said in the beginning, there are many things that you don't know. You don't know where things are. You don't know how to ride a bus even. You don't even know how to really pay even at the restaurant. Even those small things can be so different. So in those, how to say, in this stage of your life, in the beginning of your stage in a new country, this will be stressful. So that is one tip I heard. Of course, you should research before you go, but that was mentioned many times. So for me, is find places where you can release energy. In this case, in my case, is when I'm in nature, when I'm at a park, or when I'm at the river, or when I'm just not hearing like city sounds, and just when I'm watching a tree, for example. I don't know. These things give me really much energy, and that is some time where I can regain energy, calm a bit down, and release some stress. So in my case, for example, you could be a person that likes sport, or you could be a person that likes games and releases stress through games. But in my case with nature, what I should have done before I went to Japan was research some places with nature. Because I'm living really close to Tokyo, and the problem with Tokyo is it is a really loud city compared to most cities in Germany. The air quality is not even that good. And you don't have that many places with like parks or something. And in my case, I should have researched before, because I know I can release stress with nature. Where is a beautiful place, like a river or a park or a beach or something? And of course, you can research them too when you come to Japan. But I think also, how to say, having those places before you go to Japan makes things less stressful. Because, you know, if I'm stressed, I can go there and I will regain some energy. Yeah, for example, if you're a person that goes to a gym, you can just research about gyms at the place where you will live, and also research how to register for this gym, how to go inside this gym. Do you need key cards? Do you get keys? Is the registration process complicated? What kind of files do they have and everything? You can prepare those things. Because even in my case, simple things as going into a park were already more complicated than I thought. Because you all of a sudden come to a park and then you need to pay an entrance fee. That is like something that doesn't happen that often in Germany, I think. And there are many things you need to watch out for, and maybe that park is especially crowded, so you cannot regain energy and so on. You need to research those things. So to conclude everything, if you want to go to a foreign country, that is not your own country, of course, I would suggest to have a plan, learn the language, and last but not least, plan places to restore your energy. So yeah, if you have some other tips about going abroad, or if you had some experiences that you want to share with other people, just write them down in the comments. Because I think, and that is what I want to do with this channel, is many people can benefit from this experience. And because you are here as my viewer, and because maybe you share your experience, some other person can benefit from it. And I think that is something that not a privilege that everyone has. So yeah, thank you for listening. Have a great day. また今度よろしくね。